Welcome to the Let's Eat Grandma Career Warrior Podcast. So let's talk about really, I'd say, the how of recruiters, how they're using LinkedIn and what that means for job seekers. So with that knowledge, I want to go into some implications for job seekers and talk with them about how they're going to get some results, because I know we have a lot of people who are looking for their dream job here and approaching the new year 2021. But let me ask, from a job seeker perspective, what is the right way and what is the wrong way to use LinkedIn?
The right way to use LinkedIn is to treat it as a networking tool for job seekers. Right? It's not a tool where you send direct messages to people through InMail, attach your resume, and say, hey, let me know if you have a job. That's not going to work. No one's going to reply to that. When people hit me up that way, I reply with a very gentle, hey, thanks for sending me your resume. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for, what you do. I mean, literally, they just send their resume.
Just the resume.
Hey, I'm a software engineer looking for a job, or hey, I'm an operations manager looking for a job. And they just attach the resume. Okay, that's great. But you haven't even tried to build a relationship with me.
Exactly.
And that's the magic to LinkedIn. On both the recruiter side and the candidate side, it's about networking and building relationships with one another, bringing connections to life. So just a personal story. One of the things that, and this is basically how you and I got connected. I mean, we were on the same through the GA Assembly presentation a couple of months ago, right? But we decided to bring our connection to life, and that's one of the realizations I had. Is I have over 17,000 connections. How meaningful are they? I'd say about 1.5% to 2% are true meaningful positions. So what I'm actually doing is I'm going through my LinkedIn profile, and for people that at the end of the year, it's going to be the last 2 weeks of the year, I've created a list to say, all right, are these folks active on LinkedIn? If they're not active on LinkedIn, I don't want to be connected to them. So I had this epiphany in September of this year that every connection I make, I'm going to try to bring it to life, meaning getting on a call, talking to the person, building relationships, having them on my live show or having them on my podcast, right? So to me, that's the right way to use LinkedIn. The wrong way is to say, hey, I'm looking for a job, or hey, here's my resume. Let me know, should a job appear? And that's definitely not the way to go about it. And the other good way to do it is to be active. Share the knowledge that you have out there. Use keywords that are that are applicable to the industry or the position that you want in your posts, and of course in your LinkedIn profile, because the keywords do matter, because that's how recruiters use the tool, right? They use it to search for particular skill sets in particular industries with particular possibilities, et cetera. So that's my basic recommendations for how to use it the right way and the wrong way.
I love that so much. And the theme I think that we can't hammer home enough is quality over quantity of connections.
Correct.
I mean, I'm nowhere near 17,000. I think I'm like 4,000 or something right now. But even then, I'm noticing that the more I add people, because there's been a certain point where I just decide to accept everyone because I just want more. I was surprised by how much that didn't help me within my professional life or my career, just because I had more connections than I did last year. So I'm really starting to do the same thing, which is look and really filter out who I think I'm going to put the effort into being in touch with and connecting with, because it's annoying when you add all these people and your entire feed just becomes unusable because it's everything, anything and everything. And so when you have a good feed that has things you can actually comment on, things you can actually like, I think that has made a big difference for me. this a lot of the people listening to this podcast are job seekers who are curious about how recruiters are using LinkedIn to find candidates. Let's just turn the attention to you just for a second. How are you using LinkedIn to find quality candidates? What does your process look like?
So I take a couple of different approaches to it. So I do have Navigator. I do not
Okay,
have a LinkedIn recruiter seat. It's very expensive.
it is
Um,
expensive.
7,500 to 9,000, depending on the company and what they're feeling that day. Um, but I use it. I use LinkedIn to recruit through Sales Navigator. But I also tend to use Google by X-raying LinkedIn to get my candidates. And I do this for
Interesting.
several reasons. The most important reason being LinkedIn is changing their algorithms daily, right? And you never know what you're going to get. And here's a good example. Well, and also there tends to be a finite amount of results that they'll produce to you. When you go out on LinkedIn, I could do a LinkedIn search and get more results of people and connect with them that way. Now, I don't send, like, if I want to talk to a candidate, I don't send a connection request, right? Basically, what I do is if they look interesting to me, I'm going to send them a very personalized LinkedIn email. I'm
Huh.
going to note the company that they work for. I'm going to put the company name in the subject line,
Okay.
the company that they currently work for. If they're unemployed, I'm going to put their name and their title,
Okay.
their last title held. And what I always do is I always include the number of years that they've worked for a company. Hey, hey, Chris, I see you've been with Let's Eat Grandma for the last 5 years, and notice that you're you're a resume writer, or see that you have strong resume writing skills. Would love to talk to you about an opportunity with this publishing company to whatever, right? It's about personalization. Recruiters make the mistake of sending out mass emails or mass in-mail messages, whether through Navigator or through LinkedIn Recruiter, and it's not personalized,
Okay.
right? And it's not about saying, hey, it's not about opening about, hey, I've got a job for you. It's, hey, Chris, I've seen your success at Let's Eat Grandma. I've seen some examples of your work on your LinkedIn profile. I really liked it. I mean, butter them up a little bit, right? It's like, look at
Okay.
it. It's sorry to go cliche, but it is like dating. You got to build that relationship first before you ask him out on a date and say, hey, let's get married.
Absolutely.
Right. So
I think
take it slowly and don't use email campaign. You can use email campaigns through a variety of different tools that are out there, but make those emails very, very personalized.
let's draw the connection here to the job seeker. What are the top things you're actually looking for when you're trying to find that quality candidate? What are you doing specifically with looking at the profile? Are you looking at every word? What's the job search process there?
It's just like the resume. You got about five to on the profile, on the LinkedIn profile, you probably got about 5 to 10 seconds of the recruiter's attention. So you
Short.
really
Yeah.
need a strong headline. And I always like to read the about section because that tells me about their communication style. Have they taken the time to really put what they do and tell me about themselves? I mean, yeah, I'll look at their experience. I'll glance at that experience. I don't read every single word because remember, the LinkedIn profile is more like a marketing document. So it's not going to go into as much detail as the resume, right? In terms of the bullet points
Okay.
and the skills and all that fun. Well, the skills are on the LinkedIn resume, but you want to make sure that about section, your experience, have the keywords that are related to different the general terms that are applicable to that specific position that if you're
that
in.
you're applying for.
Right. So if
How
you're
long or
in,
short should that about section be? How long is yours?
it's about 4 short paragraphs. But the other thing I do is I put something personal about me so they can
Yeah.
find a common connection with me. Right. And that's a way to get to the person. They can look at my profile and say, "Oh, you went to the University of Georgia. I went to Florida. Georgia sucks." All right. Well, they can do that, right?
Yeah.
I see you're an avid Red Sox fan. Oh, I hate the Red Sox. I love the Yankees, right? It's something where you can start to have a more
Yeah.
casual conversation, put the person at ease. The other thing that job seekers can do is in their skill sets. But you have to be careful because you don't want to put a skill set you only did once. You want to have skills in there that people are going to recommend you for, right? So if you look at mine, you're going to see recruiting, leadership, talent management, talent acquisition. I mean, all the skills related to what I do
Hmm.
are in my skill section. So if a recruiter wants to find me, there's no way they can't find me because I've got skills that I've got people backing me up on what
Okay.
I do. If you do a skill once, it doesn't count. Don't list that skill set.
And I'll ask the same question with in regards to length and how much to actually include within that aspect of your profile. But how many skills should I seek to include? Should it be like shotgun with everything I've done, or should I focus on a few key skills? What do you think?
It should match your profile and resume. So if you've done that skill and you are truly skilled at that,
Mm,
list it. If you've done it once, don't list it. If you've never done it and you want to do it, don't list it because you don't
okay.
have the skill yet. You haven't put it into practice.